What's up, everybody? We're about to get into these charts because we got some beautiful patterns that are brewing. We got some incredible things that are setting up, and we got to talk about what direction this might go. And if so, what those targets are going to be, because the things are lining up that we've been waiting to see for months. All it takes right now is just a little bit of patience to make sure that we can ride this to Valhalla. That's what I'm here for. I know that's what you're all here for as well. So I want to see everybody as you roll in. Everybody list something that you are grateful for. Remember, I just had a family member pass away about a week ago, and it made me realize that we need to check in with gratitude more often. We need to check in with loved ones more often. We need to ask, what is our why? Why are we in this market? Why are we investing? Why are we trading? If we understand our why, we will make better decisions, not acting so emotionally in this market. We're about to get into it. Everybody throw a one in chat if you're ready to get this going. I want to see 7 ones going right now. Everybody, let's hit it. Let's hit the road, Jack, because this market is not going to look back no more. Let's go. Bitcoin setting up for that big move we've all been waiting on. But is it about to happen, or do we have a few days left? Well, let's dive in and look exactly that right now. This is what I'm seeing on the charts. Got a beautiful symmetrical triangle here right in the middle of this larger broadening wedge. And when we look at this on the BLX, let's come over to the BLX, go to the daily, double click here on the side, and we can see this channel that this has been traveling in, and it's still being held under this 50% mark. So the bears still have a slight bit of control here because we're not able to get into the more bullish side of this. In addition to this upper 50% of this channel, we are still being held under this trend line that is established all the way back here, September 2023. And we are sitting here right on the precipice of all those things we've been waiting on in this market. And yet some of us are still feeling frustrated. Why isn't it going now? Well, realize the fact that it isn't going now actually means that there's still opportunity at these prices. So looking at what's going on right now on this other view, on this chart here from Kraken, we are coming into this symmetrical triangle. We are fighting to get above or hold above this weekly VWAP. We are still under this trend signal line right here. We're also getting rejected at this upper bound that we can see that we've been rejected on 1, 2, 3, 4 times now, still holding on here. So what direction is it going to go? Is there reason to be bearish right now? Is there reason to look for a bull breakout in the near term? Well, we're going to get into all that and more. But before we do that, everybody that's in the room right now, let YouTube know you like this type of content. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, get this pushed out to more people. Free content we are doing for you daily here, BitLab Academy, meaningful tools, content resources, and an empowering community. My name is Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the show. Welcome to BitLab Academy family. It's an honor to be here with you on a daily basis, breaking down what's going on in these markets. So without me just talking your ear off, let's talk about what's going on right now. And the question is, we got 29 people in the room. Before everybody else rolls in here, every single one of you hit that like button. We should have at least 29 likes. We're about to have a couple hundred people pour in here. Now, I do see Alexandra G just gifted 5 memberships. Big love to you. I appreciate you so much. Now, looking in here at what's going on, we've got the price action. Let's actually reload this and see where we're at. We're still sitting here at $2.1 trillion, over $2 trillion. Ethereum still pushed up, still holding above 300 billion. BNB still under that 100 billion market cap. Is still about 80 billion. Solana, 65, just nipping at its heels. Do you all think, everybody that's watching right now, do you think Solana is going to pass BNB and market cap in the near term by the end of the year? Let me know. Throw a 1 in chat or comment down below. Solana will pass if you're watching this later. If not, at what do you think it will ever pass? Or do you think BNB is going to get itself pulled up by the bootstraps and continue pushing higher, outpacing Solana? Now, jumping back into what we're looking at here, let's go to the 24-hour. Quick swap up 34%, compound up 9%. Aave, remember we did some content, or we highlighted Aave a little bit the last couple of days. In addition to me bringing it up, we brought Matthew Highland on, and he brought it up as well. So a lot of eyes are on this. There's a lot of movement happening with whales and Aave right now. Polygon also up 8%. Phantom up 6.7%. Avalanche up 5%. We got a lot of movement in this market. When we look at the biggest losers, Orange has just been chopping around. That Bitcoin layer 2 narrative has still not caught that narrative bid within the market. There's still, everybody was hoping, right, when the halving happened, when Runes launched, that the Bitcoin narrative was going to pop off immediately, and it has not yet done so. So if you still believe in the BRC20 narrative, these might be opportunities for some of these different projects that are within that ecosystem, like ORNJ or OrdiSwap, and so on and so forth. We also see Constellation DAG still presenting that opportunity. We'll be diving into that here more, and I actually have a video coming out. I'm debating if it's going to go out today or tomorrow, but diving into a little bit more about what's going on with DAG, because it is truly incredible. Also, BitTensor still giving us great opportunity under $300. So we got a lot to talk about today. We got people rolling in the room, and I want to ask each and every one of you. Again, I said this on the pre-stream. Why are you here? Not on BitLab stream. Why are you here in this crypto market? What is your why? What is your long-term goal? And give yourself 2 long-term goals. One being, because remember, every 10 minutes in Bitcoin feels like a year. So when you're in this, or even the crypto market, I should say, over the course of a month, it feels like a never-ending timeline. So you need to ask yourself, what are you doing in a year? What do you want to get out of this market in a year? What do you want to get out of this market in 5 years or 10 years? You have to understand what your goals are in this market. Otherwise, you fall victim to yourself. Far too many people overtrade. They jump in because they're emotionally triggered, and they wonder why somebody else made so much more money than them. And then we all start to feel self-victimized. We say, well, when I buy, it goes down. When I sell, it goes up. Well, if that's happening regularly, you are the common denominator. If you don't realize that, then you're not taking stock of the situation. That's why I'm here on a daily basis. That's why we have the BitLab Academy. That's why we have the partnership with CoinW, where we're doing live trading sessions. We're getting that all set up, almost done today with Morel and the CoinW team. I want to make sure you guys understand what tools and resources and community can do for you when you're looking at this in a healthy way. So let's continue on. We've got a lot to cover today. Now, I had an article published on the street this morning. It's also picked up by Yahoo Finance. So that's exciting to be getting out there in some different ways. But I basically was breaking down, and I'll have a video go out on this, I think tomorrow, essentially talking about this. Some people are still asking right now, is the bull run over? If you feel in any way like the bull run is over, you have not zoomed out on the charts, because the charts are screaming absolute ultra bullishness on the macro for things to come. I even talk about the specific dates that I think we're going to start getting that breakout. But when we zoom down here towards the bottom of this, beyond the individual whale activity, which is this activity right here, I covered this yesterday. Over almost 100,000 Bitcoin have been picked up in the last 6 weeks by these large wallets. In addition to that, we also see a staggering 60% of the largest hedge funds now hold Bitcoin exposure, further legitimizing its role in traditional finance. We are at the early adopter stage of the institutional aspect of getting into crypto. Nation states have only, you could argue that's begun with El Salvador, but until we see that second, third, and fourth domino fall, that's when you start seeing a huge increase in activity of just natural adoption, organic growth within the space from that sort of stamp of approval of utility from nation states. Companies like MicroStrategy, which shifted its strategy to holding Bitcoin as its treasury, saw exponential growth since 2021. Moreover, the strength of the US dollar is another crucial factor to watch. Historically, Bitcoin's price surges when the dollar weakens, and the current dollar index shows signs of a potential breakdown. This is coupled with institutional and retail adoption ramping up, suggests that Bitcoin bull market is not only intact, but likely to accelerate in the coming months. I am so bullish on everything going on right now. I feel nonsensical sometimes, and I have to do it with y'all because there's long-term traders or position holders or investors, but there's also so many of us that want to know, what the heck is going on with the price right now, what's going on in the short term, because you may, and if you are trading, I want to really, really encourage you to make sure you're doing it safe and in a risk managed way, and you are not putting your entire portfolio at risk in a trade. Do not do that. Remember, I talked about this before. I lost nearly $70,000 in a trade because I mean, it was nearly my whole portfolio. This is years ago. It's because I lost my humility. I lost my understanding of risk management. I lost the factor of you have to tune out of greed. You need to have a strategy that will empower your ability to move forward in this market and make money over time. Store long-term investments, invest and have a long-term perspective, but allocate a small percentage of that portfolio to trading, whether it's 2%, 3%, 5%. I would not do anywhere near 10% or above that, but using that small allocation that you can trade with to then, when you're taking profits, you rotate 30% of those profits into your long-term HODL bags. You put 30% of those profits, keep them in that trading account so that grows as well. And take, anywhere from 15 to 25% out so you can use it in your real life as well. So this market can impact your real life and it's not just numbers on paper. Now, if you want to get involved with the live trading sessions that we're going to be doing, I just want to remind you all, we do have this tweet right. Oh, where's it at? We do have this tweet right here. If you head over to this page and retweet this, I will draw on Friday for another $100 USDT giveaway. Now, to qualify for it, you need to sign up right here where it says join here. Click on this link. It's also pinned in the top of the live chat. Click on this link, create an account, and deposit a minimum of $100 USDT. Now, remember, when you deposit $100, you get a $100 reward. If you deposit $200, you get $200. If you deposit $3,000, you get a $1,000 reward. You just need to make sure that you're active and trading on that platform, and you get the free money that you can trade with. And that link is pinned in the top of the live chat. It's also on this tweet. I'll post it in the live chat again. Go and retweet this. In order to participate, you have to retweet this and sign up for CoinW. Now, let's get back into this because we got a lot of things that we got to look at today. We have $35 billion printed. Bitcoin and altcoin engines about to get lit on fire. We've been talking about this for some time, that global liquidity is ticking up, and that tends to front run the largest pushes that happen in this market. So when we consider that money printer, we already see the People's Bank of China already increasing, and we also know in the second half of the year is when those largest increases in liquidity come from China, and also it's going to start ticking up here in the U.S. as well. And we talked about the 100,000 Bitcoin that have been bought in the last 6 weeks. Now, considering that we also need to have some bearish concern, because not everything is super bullish in the short-term time frame. I'm very macro bullish, but that doesn't mean we can't have a washout to the downside. Now, I just saw we had about 140 people pop in the room. Welcome to the BitLab Academy. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe button, ding the bell. My name's Kelly Kellum. I'm here to give you meaningful tools, content, resources, and have an empowering community to keep you on the right side of these trades. Now, when we're looking at this, what do we see? MVRV, this is a market value to realized value ratio, momentum at risk of death cross. What does this mean? Well, in the previous cycle, after the MVRV momentum experienced a death cross, which is right here, basically you had a full-blown bearish phase. Therefore, it is crucial to monitor whether the 30-day moving average, that's what DMA stands for, 30-day moving average, continues to decline. If the 30-day DMA finds support basically at the 365 DMA and starts to rise again, it could signal a potential increase in Bitcoin price. Essentially what this is saying is the market value to realized value, how far the Bitcoin price has moved above the realized cost basis. What the heck is a realized cost basis? It's the average price of every coin in circulation the last time it moved. So if you have coins that have been held for a long time and then they move, then when those coins move, it moves up that moving average of the average cost of the realized price of when profit or loss is realized. So when we're looking at this, yes, there's some bearish signal here potentially in the short term, but this section right here where this death cross happened previously, also here, is also correlated with the time that you're looking at for where the price is in relationship to the market cycle. Now, the market cycle is tied in with the global liquidity and the halving cycle. So where we're at currently I'm not particularly worried about this in this moment, but you have to understand some people are looking at this. Now, are we going to push higher? Well, Bitcoin has bounced up from the spring. This is a spring. Boom. This move, this bigger move to the downside right here. You see I have a low, low, and then a lower low. It's almost like you're jumping, double jumping on a trampoline and then get launched. We're seeing a very similar structure here. Low, low, spring. Is this a spring? Do you all think this is a spring on the Wyckoff accumulation? Now, remember, the Wyckoff patterns go back over like 150 years or something like that for all markets, not just Bitcoin and crypto, but all markets. It's a nature of human psychology of the oscillation between the bullish narratives and the bearish narratives, because that's all this price action is. Just like Matthew Hyland was saying the other day, this is a reflection of the dominant narrative, the dominant psychology of the market being traded. Bulls are in charge. Nope, it flips over because the bulls cannot get above this. See, we tried. This couldn't even get a higher high. So this is where the bears get stronger, and the bears bring it back down, and they try again, but you have a higher low, and now the bulls take back over, and it rinse and repeats until you get done with this consolidation, this accumulation, and then the bears realize it cannot take it any lower, and the bulls just absolutely eat this market alive. And you have to be here for it if you want to benefit from it. So know that. So this is suggesting maybe we are in this part of the phase right in here. So we're going to have to pay attention to this in the near term. Now, when we look at the price action, COVID crash, this is that push up to $13,000, $14,000. We had the breakdown. Everybody was hoping this was the bottom, and then it pushed up, came right into the trend line that we see here. And you could not have predicted this because it was a black swan. This is a global economic shutdown right here. Everything tanked. It wasn't Bitcoin. It was the entire financial sector globally. But then look at this strong rebound. And look at, interestingly, where this found a rebound. We oversold this a bit, but the wick ate this back up. And this essentially, if you compare to where we're at right now in this market cycle, very similar. A push up into that sort of pre-halving push up. We had the halving roughly in this zone here. But then just looking at this pattern, descending, broadening wedge, bounce, rejection, bounce, rejection, rejection, bounce, rejection, came right back down, had a little bit of an overshoot. And this is essentially, if you're comparing this price action chart, this pattern, this is suggesting if we can maintain here and not have another major washout down currently or in the very near term, then this suggests that we should come up here and have another battle up here at about that $68,000, $69,000 region. So things are looking good. There is some cause for concern for some washouts, some chops here and there, like we've seen over and over again. And that's what we're talking about. Bad Fox says, where is our white swan? Well, I would argue this white swan, it's so much larger than let me say this. Where is our white swan? Asked Bad Fox. Where is our white swan? Well, black swans are unpredictable. White swans, I would argue, take a much longer time to have an impact in the market. And for this cycle, that would be BlackRock spot ETF, Fidelity spot ETF, Van Eck, the traditional asset sector coming in, legacy finance, buying and aping into buying so much exposure in the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Over 60% of the U.S. largest hedge funds now have Bitcoin exposure. This is the white swan. It is laying the fundamental bullish framework for the next major legs to the upside. That's what I'm talking about right now. So coming back into this, we got 146 people in the room, only 46 likes. Hit that like button, show some love, let YouTube know you like this type of content, and we can continue on here. Now, looking on to the next chart, we're going to be getting into some TA here in a few minutes. And remember, where is this going to come from? It's not just global liquidity. It's not just fear or greed or what's going on geopolitics, but also all those things get wrapped into this chart right here. And I talked about this before, but we got to look at it again. Jay Mizzle says Apple allowing crypto payments is a white swan. I would agree with that. And remember, they are on pace to open up the near field communication, basically the one tap pay thing, which you can do on Apple, but you can only do it with Apple the Apple payments. They're opening that up to third parties. So when that happens, that means wallets and crypto and exchanges and payments can now will likely be able to utilize that, which will be a game changer. But when we were talking about the context of the market, before we jump into the TA, we're going to be doing Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana and Avalanche and Constellation DAG and quite a few other coins here. But we have to talk about the context of where we're at in the risk narrative. And even if you're not paying attention to all the geopolitics, to all the noise out there, pay attention to the dollar index. This dollar value, the strength of the dollar falling, perfectly correlated with the Bitcoin rise. Okay, dollar getting stronger. Look at this strong breakdown on Bitcoin. Okay, dollar getting very strong here. This is correlated right here with the breakdown bear market initiation, bear market cycle we had on Bitcoin. Now look at this. The dollar starts to fall dramatically, perfectly correlated with where the Bitcoin bull market kicked off and started. And now we are at, similar to what we see here, that next leg of the dollar potential. Right now it's only potential, is when this breaks down and starts having a further move to the downside. That will correlate with strong upward price action on Bitcoin and sending all those alts that you're holding likely much higher. The question this cycle is how far and how fast will the altcoin, let me say this again. The question this cycle is how far and how fast will the altcoin market run? Considering we have so much more regulatory clarity with Bitcoin and Ethereum because of these Bitcoin spot ETFs, but we still have a huge question mark as to what the regulation or regulation by enforcement may persist within the altcoin market. Also considering the fact that institutions can get direct access to Bitcoin and Ethereum through these spot ETFs. Will Bitcoin and Ethereum far outpace altcoins or the majority of altcoins this cycle? It is a possibility. Let me know what you think down below. Comment. Let me know your thoughts if you think altcoins will outpace Bitcoin and Ethereum again this cycle, or if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to run away. It's a very interesting consideration to have now that we have hundreds of trillions of dollars that now have access to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and altcoins are still not yet in that same stance. However, they have smaller market caps, so maybe retail comes in and absolutely pumps the heck out of altcoins. This is why diversification of your portfolio is important. Now, getting back into this chart, I'm ready for this to break down because that will be an incredible signal as to what is coming next for Bitcoin. Allowing Apple payments, yes, sir. Now, coming on to the next chart here. Oops. There we go. Make sure you're giving me a follow here at Kelly Kellum. There's still a persistently never-ending number of fake profiles that have my name slightly spelled different with 3 L's or with a 1. It is spelled just like that, Kelly, Kellam. You can follow me there and follow BitLab Academy here at Academy BitLab. Now, I do want to say before we jump into the TA, we're all in this market to make money. We're all in this to change our lives. We're all in this to at least create some positive benefit to our world, evolving the crypto market. So make sure you are protecting your crypto. Make sure you're protecting your future. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10, LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off and get yourself the best crypto cold storage solution out there. Getarculus.com. Use code LAB10. Now, excuse me. Feeling tired today, guys. Okay, now coming on to what we're looking at right now. What direction is the market going to go? Well, looking at this 1 week chart, I want you to notice we had a lot of liquidity above us here, came up into it, came back into it, fell, came back into it. Now we don't have any very, very hot zones. We have, actually quite a bit of liquidity down in this zone from about 57.7 down to basically 55.7. About a $2,000 window here with a lot of liquidity, with a little bit of liquidity above us. So as bullish as I am a little concerned on the near term of whether or not we come down and scoop up some of this liquidity. If we look at this on the 3-day chart, we can see we're kind of pinned between two zones. It's almost as if they're holding the price. It's almost as if they're trying to keep it in this range. Now, remember what's coming up in the middle of September, the next FOMC meeting and Fed, whether they're going to cut the Fed interest rates. It's going to be very interesting to see if we just chop around sideways, a fake out up, maybe a fake out down, and then absolutely blow the top off and break out, going into the end of September. Remember, I posted it on my Twitter about a week and a half ago, a potential maybe $83,000 Bitcoin at the end of September. But that could happen very quickly. It also could not happen at all. But as we're looking at this in the short term, on the 3-day chart, this looks like it's just really kind of pinning it here on the chart. And when we look at what's going on here, some people still question whether or not the bull run is over, and it blows my mind. Well, it is for anyone that capitulates before the bull rockets are lit, and that is the truth. Because we see this consolidation right here at the previous all-time high. We see the consolidation under the all-time high. We see the consolidation right here when we zoom in. You guys have all seen it. Is right in here, consolidation, then breakout. But what's most important to me is this fair value map from the rational root. And what we see where you have these green highlights is the price action breaking above this fair value band and then finding support, finding support, finding support, and then launching. Okay, we had the huge shutdown, the global catastrophe here into the halving. And then look, we sat here right at the fair value band, broke up, came back, tested the fair value band, and then took off. We're also only 124 days post-halving right now, when we've seen over the last two cycles, it was roughly 160-ish days of sideways price action, boom, sideways price action, boom, before you had liftoff. Well, look at this. We kind of ran up a little early here, and we just the other day tapped the fair value band when we broke down to $49,000, $50,000. That fair value band has risen now to about $54,900, basically $55,000. So all things are still looking good, considering all the appetite that we're seeing, considering what I was talking about here with 60% of the largest hedge funds now holding Bitcoin exposure. And this doesn't even include, remember, all of those 330,000 registered investment advisors that can tap around $100 trillion worth of wealth globally are just now starting to push the Bitcoin products on the traditional market, which are these Bitcoin spot ETFs. All things are looking absolutely excellent. So any move down from here, much like we saw on this global crisis, that proved to be an incredible opportunity. If price does fall and shock people, we have some sort of black swan, which there's so much geopolitical stuff going on right now. As bullish as I am, I'm able to switch my narrative in the near term if it should so happen, and be able to scoop up if we get lower prices down at 38 or 33 or something ridiculous, which didn't feel like it was possible here, and it happened. It did not happen in this cycle. We had 8 pullbacks of 26 to 40-something% on the way up. Now on this cycle, we've had an interesting number of movements to the downside, and one could argue we've had this was a 20%. That's 1. That was 2. That was 3. That was 4. This is 5. This is 6. This is 7. So we've had 7, roughly 20-ish, 24% pullbacks. Now this pullback, although it was about almost 30%, 33% from the all-time high, the market is doing everything it can to shake you off before it absolutely explodes. And as we look at this, just like this, look at this look at this reversal signal up. We've got another one right here. We're still kind of pinned, and this had a couple days before it broke as well. But if you look at this on the 8-hour chart, I want you to notice something. It's going to print. So look at this. We had the 5 bullish divergences right here. Let me get my mouse on this. 5 bullish divergences right here, coupled with this potential reversal signal and massive move to the upside. We got 2 bullish divergences here and a reversal signal. We got a pretty big move, and now we're kind of trapped in this because the bulls and whoever's trapping this liquidity, both above and beyond, it's all these different leverage traders, derivatives, options, and market makers as well, providing this liquidity on both sides of the price. So if the price action does break to the downside, but notice this momentum wave. They're trying to bring it down as it's slowly inching up. The RSI is holding up here in the mid 40s. Currently, price action is above the weekly VWAP. So what I'd be waiting for on this is not trying to catch the move from here to here. That feels nonsensical to me because we're so close to the end of this pattern, which is, roughly about beyond about 70% is when you start looking for a potential breakout, right? So I will caution you in two things. I do see a possibility of a breakout and a move and a potential washout and a move and then the continuation of the upside. However, that is a possibility. However, when we look at this and we turn off all the patterns and everything, what do you see on this price action chart? What does it indicate when we're looking at this price action right here? Well, what I see is a shoulder, this head, and a shoulder, right? And you can do this a little bit different. For instance, you can do a shoulder, head, and then is this the shoulder here? Because this is where we're getting back to that neckline, which is this line we have drawn right here. If that's the case, then we can see, measuring this, we can see that the target out of this takes us up to $66,000. It might be, let's see, option T. Let's go from the very bottom of this all the way up to there. And okay, yeah, about $66,000. Now, when we're considering where that next level of resistance is above us, I mean, this would be beautiful if that were to play out. Now, if we do get a washout to the downside, I'm going to start getting concerned if we wash out down below this $55,000 mark right here. Now, why is that? Because remember, when we're talking about that fair value, it's right about, look, 54,981 currently, and this will adjust depending on how many days go by. It'll likely go up. But as it stands, if we do push and break this down here, I do think this would start getting concerning if we break below this previous low here at 48.9, basically $49,000, which was this wick to the downside. That would also suggest that I think I already deleted the chart there. That Wyckoff accumulation, that would suggest that this is not a spring. So as it stands right now, what I'm watching is for the fact that money flow is not coming out right here. The fact that the momentum wave is trending slightly to the upside. Let's get down to the 4-hour. See, it's bullish. We want to see some strength come in, but we have some big things going on today. So forexfactory.com, go to calendar, and we can see what is today, the 21st. We have the FOMC minutes, basically the sort of outline of what they talked about at the last FOMC meeting. There will likely be a little bit of chop around this until this is passed because it gives a little deeper clarity on what the tone and the questions and the topics of conversation were about, what different participants or what the consensus or divergences were between the different Fed board members regarding those interest rates and the economy. So this could shake to me, it feels nonsensical now that this is still affecting markets, but it's because we've been in such a bizarre economic situation since that major global economic shutdown, and economy is still catching up to the data and all the printing that happened. See, this is printing, and we have just broken past this all-time high, ticking to the upside. So this is why everybody's concerned about what this tonality is, so people can forward project what the market will likely do. So we are coming into a zone here. I'd be waiting for, honestly, a breakout above this zone, any sort of rejection and a continuation like this. That would be the opportunity to look for a long here rather than getting chopped out in this zone. And again, we are getting all the live trading stuff that's going to be free to sign up to. The only access to get that access to the live trading sessions where I can see your exchange screen, you could see mine. We could basically do setups, do trades together. Head over to our channel partner, CoinW. The link is pinned in the top of the live chat right there. It says get $1,000. That means if you deposit $3,000 or more, then you get $1,000 USDT free to trade with. But if you only got $100, you can do it with a minimum of $100, and that gets you access, and you get a bonus $100 to trade. Just sign up with that link that is right there in the live chat and get in there. And we're going to have a whole private Telegram channels with signals and all kind of stuff, even from some pro traders. So I'm looking forward to getting that in action. We've been building it out. There's also going to be some live trading stuff or some course content to break things down for you. Now, Bitcoin, let's get into Ethereum. Ethereum also sitting here riding on this shelf. We also have a very kind of had this rising channel. We talked about it breaking bearish. It did, but it's been consolidating. It's been holding here. So when we're looking at this, this has a, kind of different shape, but similar as we see this larger broadening wedge, or sorry, symmetrical triangle. Well, now we see this kind of playing out here too. But what concerns me about this on the near term is that this is rounding. If this does break down, I'm looking for an opportunity here and here. This would be 2,380, 2,360 range, and also the 2,128 to 2,180 sort of range here. These are the two levels I'm looking at. I do think that this rocket ship is about to absolutely rocket sooner than later. But in the time between now and when that happens, it's going to be shakeout central. You have to understand that. This is why I'm also really looking forward to when we get the dominant trend narrative back, because we have all of this chop. When the dominant trend narrative is back and we get the trend breaking to the upside, especially once we clear this 4,000, basically $3,900 to $4,000 level on Ethereum, and above the $70,000 to $74,000 level on Bitcoin, that's when you start looking for that rise, retrace, continuation. Let's see, Kellum market cycle cheat sheet. I'll put this up. You can screenshot it all you want, and that is this right here. We're looking for the breakout of this consolidation, like right in here. This is sideways consolidate. We're looking for the breakout so we can get those rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation, retrace, continuation. Looking for an exit. That's what we're trying to do here in this market. Now, coming back over to Ethereum, on the way to the upside, these are these levels that I'm looking at for potential hurdles along the way once we do start moving to the upside. Huge washout to the downside on the momentum. Clipped right here. Boom. Start showing, and we have a much higher low here. And we just need to pay attention on this that we see on the 4-hour. It has flipped to bullish, price action, but there's not really any money flowing. How do I know that? Because it's no longer blue, it's gray. Even though it's on the positive side, it's gray. But we do have, 1, 2, 3 out of these 6 signals. 3 of them are bullish, 1 is neutral, 2 are bearish. So the signals here are starting to kind of lean more bullish. VWAP is angled to the left side. Stochastics bounced again, a little bit higher low. RSI trying to bounce here. This just needs a little bit of a nudge. And why is it just sitting here without clear signal? Because we got those FOMC meetings coming. We have those FOMC meeting minutes coming this afternoon. We also still have some question about, especially with crypto, with some of the administrative perspective about what the rules and regulations are going to be in this market. So, but the VWAP's angled up. Let's zoom out on this. Let's go to a 2-hour, turn on the BitLab intelligence, BitLab volume. And look at this. We're pinned. We are pinned between 2 order blocks as well. Created an order block here. We had an order block that formed back here. This is this green box and this red box. This automatically prints on the chart to give you areas of interest based on when you have huge amounts of liquidity going in at certain price levels, it lets you know that there's interest at defending or supporting those levels. And look, comes up here, it tries to, fails, comes down, it's finding support on this order block that was formed right here. Now, if we lose this is another indication why I'm talking about this next level down here. Look at where this point of control is. More volume. This is why that you have this this teal line coming out here. 2 hours, still positive money flow. This is just, we want this to pick a direction. On a breakdown of here, I mean, you could take a small time frame trade short from this position. I would wait for a break. Come on, bastard. I would wait for a breakdown of here, a retest and a continuation, and you could take that position, which is not that small of a movement. Okay, come on. That would be a move of about That'd be about a 5 or 6% move. Now, doing responsible low leverage, you can amplify that into a 30 or 40% move on that position. But wait for the position to be made where the breakdown happens, the confirmation is in, and you see the intention to continue to this downside. Similarly, if price breaks bullish out of this, you want to wait for a little bit of a test back in here and the breakout, which that would be your target right there. And we'll be talking about setting the targets on these in these live trading streams. Now, we've got 134 people in the room. 67 of you were raised well by your mother. We're out here giving you free content, meaningful tools, resources, and an empowering community. Hit that like button. Show some love. Now, when we're looking at what's going on we wanted to talk about BNB. We drew this perfectly. Look at this. Oops. We do this perfectly. Come up here. We're talking about a potential move to test into this region. Currently, it came directly to this previous high range. Boom. Bounced. If it can hold that and clear 558 and then 563, then this looks like it will likely be moving back to test up these sort of range highs again. But look at all these giant order blocks we have above us. This is suggesting it might take a little bit of work for BNB to break out of this. Now, in addition to that, you do have a rising channel. Rising channels, a lot of times, can break bearish and give you another opportunity lower. So pay attention to that. We also want to talk about Constellation DAG here. We talked about, look at this push up, a confirmation, and then a continuation. This is exactly what happened on this move that we were talking about here. It is beautiful setup, rounding bottom here on Constellation DAG. And again, I have a video going out on this. We have a bit of a inverted head and shoulders now on this as well. If we can clear above, I would actually do it a little bit higher. If we can clear above 2.8 cents, which is these lows right here, that's going to be a signal that this is likely starting that larger move to the upside. Now, just on this more recent range high, which is basically back here in March of 2024, that would be let's look at this from where we're at now. That would be basically nearly a 3x. If this gets up, if this price action goes to the previous all-time high, that's a 21x. And the reason why I bring this up, and the reason why I'm so, Drew from Blockchain Basement is one that brought this to my attention. And then we got approached. We have a strong partnership with Constellation DAG as well. And I've disclosed that to all of you. But the fact that they have so many incredible partnerships that they are dealing with. I wrote right here, when I look for crypto projects to take a position in, I pay attention to the functionality, the functional utility is for that altcoin and what narratives it will also be able to ride. Constellation DAG is in a unique position to harness a broad range of narratives because it actually provides utility across all of them. Dagnum PI, we've had him on the channel, who's been talking about this, but this is essentially what I'm talking about. We see that a DAG, you get in the hottest industries all in one platform. DePIN, AI, Internet of Things, big data, cryptocurrencies. They have partnerships. They're in talks right now with the Pentagon to further strengthen the cybersecurity there. We just saw 2.9 billion records lost by the IRS, or Social Security numbers stolen, records stolen, as well as the CrowdStrike. We need decentralization and secure end-to-end encrypted data technology that can only be done through the blockchain or through that next evolution, which are metagraphs, which is what these directed acyclic graphs do. So I will take a partnership with any meaningful company that is out here trying to advance technology in a meaningful way. And so make sure you don't sleep on DAG, because it is setting up, as we talked about that here, with this rounding nature right in here on this sort of washout out of this falling wedge. And now, start right on the edge of potential breakout. If this does come down again, great opportunity down here at 2.14 cents. But things are look at all these potential reversal signals and bullish divergence. Oh man, it's as bullish as it can be. Link. Breaking out, but it's sideways. We need to get above 1060, this range, 1072 to $11. This is a range that we need to clear for Link to start making its headway back to the upside. But we see the money flow. Look at this money flow. Rounding out, coming back, about to set up for that money flow injection back in. What does money flow injection back in do? That's the fuel for the bulls to climb up the damn mountain. So the setups are starting to present themselves. What was it? I want to see Solana as well, because Solana, remember, just got another ETF with Brazil. We're on the 4-hour chart. See, I'm not even looking at the price action. I'm saying, what is the data telling me is likely going to happen next? Well, we have the VWAP coming down, stochastics angle down, RSI angle down, but the money flow is kind of angled here. It went neutral, so no longer coming out. We want to watch for this crossover right in here. We do have some bearishness. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the immediate moment might not be the best time to buy. I'm just looking at this specifically on data, but let's look at this in relationship to price, because price is another data point. The price here, when we're looking at, let's turn off the indicators. Let's look at this on the 8-hour. Fake out to the upside, comes back in, tests the bottom side range, actually washes out down into this target zone that we had. And we're still sitting here on the upper 50% sort of mark of this pattern right in here. Guys, I'm just dragging today. I don't know what. I got to switch from coffee or something. I'm not really sure. But support, resistance, 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 support. If we can maintain this as the price action comes down into these levels, if it comes down and tests here again, or even comes down here into the 124 level, I think that is going to be an excellent buy opportunity for traders. Now consider big momentum wave, smaller momentum wave, right? The RSI is holding here at this 30% range. We'd like to see Solana, when it does get up into this 156 to 165 range right in here, not only this trend line, but also this order block that is outlined right here, which with these red bars that are coming in here. If Solana can take that out, the next step's going to be up here at 193, and then the next target's going to be here at 217, and then it's going to be, that's when the market is going onward and upward. There we go. Actually put that back. Edit, redo, or whatever. There's something else I wanted to show you here. Render. We have not looked at render in some time. Price action. Come down here. Break down right into this level that we had. And we do have NVIDIA earnings. I believe NVIDIA earnings are next week. That will likely impact the artificial intelligence narrative. So things like render, like near, like fetch or ASI. OSHA, I mean, that's part of ASI now. But these AI plays will likely be impacted by what those earnings reports are going to be for NVIDIA. But this did break out of a basically falling wedge here. And we're sitting here finding support on these order blocks that we created. If we can hold here, we're watching for a test, retest, something like this, and the continuation up to here. This is going to be a key zone when we get back up here to 762, 765, because this lows, this high, this low, this bounce, rejection. These are the two important areas to watch. Basically 580, which is these lows right here, see? And then right here at 742 is going to be another impactful moment here on render. What's something we haven't looked at Filecoin in a while. Let's look at Filecoin. We can see. Let's delete that. Boom, boom. There we go. So washout down, pushing up, have a bit of a head and shoulders here, kind of sideways. But this is pushing up, trying to invalidate that. If this does break to the downside, then what we'd be looking at is basically a retest back down here into like 316, potentially a $3 even. Because see this shoulder, head, shoulder? But if this is able to push up, I mean, we got some ways to go before you get real clear bullish signal. And that would be pushing up essentially into this 410 zone. And it's the breakout of this and retest that is the setup I'm looking for to actually take a strong tradable position on this as it sits. Let's go to, we're on the 8 hour. Okay, let's go to Caspa. I don't know. Oh, I was like, what are these lines? They're so crooked. No, but this was when I was talking about the impulse up, very strong, gets a little weaker, it's leaning, gets a little weaker, it's leaning. So there is a concern here that if this does break down, basically potentially target down here into the 10-cent zone, I think that would be a great opportunity. However, because Marathon and Mara, there's been large Bitcoin miners that have been out there that have been basically mining Caspa as well, and they've got a pretty good sort of VC and institutional sort of narrative as well. I won't say similar to Solana, but similar in that the interest and the awareness is there with this asset. So if this does lose this level, what I'd really be watching for is what is the strength here at about 1375. If this can hold this zone and start pushing up, then we're watching essentially for this zone right here. But we're watching for this zone right in here, just like this. But man, guys, yeah, I don't know what it is. We're going to, you guys tell me, I've just been tired lately. I try to drink coffee. It's just not doing it for me. I want to be a little more healthy, but I don't drink all these healthy drinks. They always taste like trash. And I don't know what it is about healthy drinks. They just don't taste good. But I'm trying to get my health in order. Drinking all this coffee, all this sugar, all the caffeine. It just doesn't seem like it's something that is able to sustain me. Because you guys see me, I got big energy every time I'm doing these streams. I want to bring you energy. I want to bring you data. I want to bring it to you with a smile. I don't want to be run down. And so, oh, what's this?
Got you. Yes, dog. I heard you've been tired of the streams lately.
Is this one of those healthy drinks?
Yeah. It's a mood enhancement drink.
Well, let's see. Is this going to taste like trash or let's see what this tastes like. Damn, that's good. That tastes like Hawaiian Punch. Man, you guys got to check this out. TheYesDrink.com. You got to check this out. TheYesDrink.com. Holy moly. That's a good drink. No sugar, no fat, all vitamins. Man, I'm into it. I think this is what I'm going to be drinking on stream every day now. So check that out. TheYesDrink.com. Now, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I guess I get a little mood boost here. The original mood boost drink. Now, that's good. I've been having these on my back thing. It's my cousin's drink company that they launched. I haven't even really tried it. That is freaking good. Now, coming back in, we got a couple more things to talk about. Let's look at VET, V-E-T, for Miss Bad Fox in here. What do we see? We see price action. Look at this. Low, deeper low. But if this can basically clear this level right in here, this essentially 2.4 to basically 2.5 cents, then because you look at this this is actually beautiful. Let's look at this. We've got a little bit of a breakout that's happened here on this downtrend. If this does, I want to caution you, if this, even though this looks good, and it still does, if this does break down and find support here, that is actually great because you're flipping this previous resistance to support and then breaking out basically back above the zone. And then we'll be essentially targeting this zone right in here, which is basically 2.6, 2.7 cents. And then we got some of these zones in here. Now, I haven't been following VET much on the fundamental side lately. Let's see. So I'm not really sure what's going on with some of their partnerships and other stuff like that, because I know they got some really strong partnerships. But yeah, so this is what I'll be watching. If this does, even if it just continues on, we have this big momentum wave, negative money flow, RSI and stochastics angled up, but they're showing a little bit of weakness, suggesting we may get a little bit of a washout down. But we're watching for this zone right here with all this chop, this support, and the intersection of this larger trend line that goes all the way back here to February 2024. This is the zone I'll be watching here for a breakout, retest, and continuation up in here to the 3-cent zone. This, yeah, I mean, this is looking like it's starting to set up something good, but it has a little bit more work to do. Now, what else we got? Let me read. Let's see. Bluff City breaks. That's right. Well, my cousin made this. This is good as hell. Check it out. It's a feel-good drink. Mood boosting, social energy, great vibe, good vibes, mental clarity. I'm gonna be drinking the hell out of this. You know, when your family does something, you're like, man, that's probably gonna suck. Man, I just took a sip of it. That shit is good. Now, throwing it all on here. What else we got? Let's look at Adam. Adam's still riding under this trend line that goes all the way back here to March 2024. Still trying to form a higher low here, trying to basically push into the $5, $5.30, this range right here. Why this range? Because you can see this low here. If you drag this across, this low, see where this bottom of the wick is? But then the top of this push up here, we can actually drag this down just a touch. This is why I'm saying basically the 505 to 523 sort of range. Once this gets up into this zone, we want to clear this, have a retest, and then continue right now. But we got a little bit of bullish divergence in here. The RSI is trying to do some work, but the stochastics are looking weak. So if this does have another, and the market has a general sort of washout at all, because this, I mean, look at this. If we get down to like the 2 hour, this is looking like a small bit of bearishness here, which is this right here, broadening wedge here. If this does wash out to the downside, I'd really like this to have a higher low than what we've seen over here down in the lower fours. But so what I'd be looking for really is if this does break down, like potentially right into this 450 zone, would be a potential good spot. And then also 440. But guys, I think a lot of things are pinned because of this liquidity. Let's look at this on the like 24 hour. Yeah, there's pinned liquidity, but there's more liquidity below us. So watch for some potential shakeouts to the downside. But essentially, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, and remember to get involved. Sign up with us on CoinW. Deposit money, get free money. It's all your money. It's in your account. It's just this way we all can trade together on the same platform. And you're also helping support this channel. So make sure you get in on that. The link is in the description. Kevin Svensson in the chat. Kevin, we got to get you back on the stream. Maybe we'll get you on here tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts. Or maybe Matthew and I are going to be doing some evening streams as well if you want to get in on that. But let me go ahead and set up this redirect. We're going to head over to DGen Alpha now. Big love to everybody here. Remember, protect your crypto, protect your future. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10 to get 10% off. And guys, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. These markets are still providing opportunity. They are not running away yet. Let's not be mad that it's not breaking out to the upside. All of it is setting up for a better future if you can stay in tune with the data and not getting trapped in the emotions. But that's all I got for you today, everybody. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. See you later, guys. Adios.